Well, we are live. We are live. It is Sunday, and a happy Sunday to all you beautiful people that have decided to spend your brunch with me. Hello, hello. This is Dr. Whimsy presenting as her alter ego, the Oracle of Whimsy. First conceived in an ancient riverbed in a land far away from here. And we pray that the rivers will return one day, and that I will no longer have to be in exile, because the poor Oracle of Whimsy, because she didn't play by the rules, has been forced into eternal exile, where she frolics and plays all over the planet, making mischief, dreaming of her homeland. Yes, that is the Oracle of Whimsy. Mazel tov to Douglas. He got his vaccine on Friday. How's everybody holding up? How was your week? I did take my Allegra, so I hopefully won't cough too much. All right, so before we get started, excuse me, we're going to give love and gratitude to everybody who decided to join us today. Be sure and share, like, subscribe, and click the bell notifications so that you can be notified about all future videos here on the Oracle of Whimsy. Now, as I had said, before we get started on this exciting adventure called Brunch with the Oracle, we're going to be doing some remote viewings, and then we're also going to do some blitzes. We want to give gratitude to everyone who decided to join us, starting with Linda Bankston. Hello, Linda Bankston. Welcome, welcome. Sharon Sipe, hello. Johanna Muller, good morning to you. Good morning, Pierre Walker, Cher Bear, Debbie Palumbo. You go for your second shot on Wednesday, Debbie? I'm very happy to hear that. Sharon Sipe is in the house. Hello, hello. Dove Girl, welcome, welcome. Oh, the Oprah interview is tonight. Pierre Walker is talking about that. Yes, yes. They called Meghan Markle abusive because she was sending emails at night before she go to bed about everything that had to be done the next, which is the same thing I do. You get it organized. Like with Celtic Tarot, when I do the remote view on Fridays, it's my job to get the show organized. So, yeah, evidently that's abuse. So we're going to talk about that. But yeah, Oprah Winfrey interview. Yes. Looking forward to it. Diane T, hello. Cher Bear, welcome, welcome. Exodus Smith is in the house. Starlight Glazer, I like that name. Douglas, my beautiful Douglas is here. Hello. Sharon Sipe, I think I've said hello to you. Jane Barmash, did I say hi? Joel Tilson is in the house. Okay. We will be continuing to say hi to everybody as we go along. I'm seeing some pretty emojis. Some nice emojis like those little hearts. Noel, hello, hello. Thank you. Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium, is in the house, also working as a remote viewer. And we all want to encourage people to check out her channel. She does some real fun stuff over there. Okay, so let's talk remote viewings. So I don't even know where to start because I did so many remote viewings. I did so many remote viewings over the last couple of days. And to be quite honest with you, some of them are really, really complicated. So I'm more than happy to do blitzes today, anything that people want. But I think a lot of, we will do blitzes. People love blitzes. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the remote views that I've gotten. And I have mixed feelings about them. The first remote view that I want to talk about is, let me go ahead, Andrew Cuomo. Okay, so last night I did a remote view on Andrew Cuomo. We'll go ahead and pin this so that people know what we're talking about. Now, a lot of people have mixed feelings about Andrew Cuomo because he's bombastic. He's being accused of sexual harassment, which is a pretty, I think, pretty serious allegation. Also hiding data, statistics, etc., regarding the number of people that had died from COVID in the nursing facilities. While he was the governor, he's been taking care of the crisis with the pandemic. The first feeling that I get when I go into the energy of Andrew Cuomo is that whether it's interesting. He's somebody who is, like most human beings, imperfect. He's somebody who, like most people, is complicated. He's got a good side. He's got a bad side. Yes, there's a little bit. Joel Tillison is asking if Andrew Cuomo is a bully. There's a bombastic aspect to this energy. When I go into this energy, it's bombastic. Now, what's the difference between practicing HCRV, remote viewing, as a heart-centered remote viewer versus a standard technique? If you're a heart-centered remote viewer, you're trying to put yourself into the shoes of the other person and look out at the world as the other person, merging with the identity of the other person. So for all intents and purposes, you are basically them, or you're merging you're attempting to become one with that energy. Not entirely. There's an aspect of you in HCRV that is the observer. You're always the observer, watching the emotional interaction, because the fourth chakra is very emotional. It's the heart chakra. So you're observing the heart chakra processing this data from the target, but you always remain the observer. The mind and the brain work separately, right? They work together, but they also work separately, and they collect data separately. So our jobs as HCRV practitioners is to be able to stand back, like good Buddhist, and simply observe the energy and follow it to what we think will be its most likely conclusion. Jay Cat Lady, beautiful. I really am impressed by those beautiful tulips you sent me. And boy, isn't it the time for tulips? So I do appreciate that. So as Andrew Cuomo, I'm trying to be Andrew Cuomo. So a lot of people were confused when I first put this channel up about who a professional empath is. A professional empath feels the emotions. They're an empath. For all intents and purposes, you are talking to Andrew Cuomo. That's the goal of a professional empath. They want to become the target while maintaining healthy separation. That's a professional empath. So the first feeling I felt as Andrew Cuomo was that I genuinely care about New York. Here is my speech. He gave a bit of a speech. Where do you send things to me? My address is in the about this channel. It's 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. Oh, and I want to give a shout out. I knew there was something I hadn't done yet. I'm going to get back to Andrew Cuomo, but I have to say thank you to Tina Linden. She makes handmade cards, boxes, and custom orders upon request, and really beautiful work. Look at this. Just gorgeous. Look at this. This reminds me of almost like a Jackson Pollock, this one. Just love the colors. Oh my God, they're so pretty. To find out, oh, I like this. If you would like to find out more about Tina's art, there she is. Tina, if you want some beautiful things made, great artist. Tina Lidin, Lidin, artist, coolway@hotmail.com. Coolway@hotmail.com if you would like to have her do some art for you. I wanted to just promote that because she was kind enough to send me these. And boy, when you get something this beautiful, I just can't use it. I would be more likely to frame it than I'm thinking of actually doing something like that designer Nate. He frames and he makes art collages. I might do that with these rather than actually use them. All right, I apologize. I just had to give gratitude for that to Tina Lidnan. My apologies. All right, so back to Andrew Cuomo. So he basically gave a speech. I was in the meditative state and he gave this heartfelt speech, and then I had to stop the meditation because I didn't have a pen, and so I had to stop, and then I lost some of the speech, but this is my speech as Andrew Cuomo based on as much as I can remember. So here is Andrew Cuomo in the remote. He says, I genuinely care about New York. In a way, I feel like New Yorkers are my family. I've always been that way. I grew up like that. Thank you, Impish Artist. I can be abrupt. I'm in your face. If you want to ask about me and women, I've had quite a few affairs, both with married women, divorced women, and everything in the middle. He was very honest about that. He's not a saint. It's horrifying to him that he did something to somebody that they wouldn't have wanted. He doesn't hurt children. He's a bit of a smooth talker. He's not into young women. If you ask his personal sexual preference, he's very open about it. He says, to be honest with you, I prefer mature women, older women. If you're just asking my taste about who I date, I'm attracted to seasoned, mature women personally. I'm just saying. So this is a guy who he can hit on women, he can seduce women, he likes older women, divorced women, experienced women, mature women, educated women, empowered women. He's not into kids. He's not into young, emotionally immature. That's not his thing. He says, I made mistakes in my past and I have learned from these mistakes, and I would like to continue to serve New York. Thank you, Daphne Berry. He talked about his father, who he called Pops. That's an interesting way to call your dad Pops. He said he wanted Pops to be proud of him. But he always saw himself as a child of New York, and he sees New Yorkers as an extension of his family. So maybe sometimes he's a little too casual, but he really does think of New York as his family. He says he is a servant of New York and a child of New York. So that's is that an old-fashioned way of calling you Pops? Pops. It's interesting. Let's talk about this. I don't know what to say. It's not my state. It's up to New Yorkers whether or not they want to recall him. I didn't even know. Would I go out with someone like this? Yeah, I'd go out with him. This is a tough guy who's got like a heart of gold, but he does things that I don't think he had conscious awareness of how the other person may have felt, but I don't get malice from this individual. Thank you, Super Queen Bee. Oh, Pops is short for Papa, and then in Italian, you call a father a Papa. So, okay. I'm Jewish, so we dad, Papa, father, but I never heard Pops. I mean, this is a tough guy who can talk macho, but this is a guy who's really concerned that everything's okay. Everyone's okay, right? It's that kind of an energy. Oh, you call your dad Pops? Where does it come from? Is that an East Coast? I don't know. So, I mean, I just feel like this is the decision of the people of New York, and it's my job as a heart-centered remote viewer to simply deliver the information and to cut cords and just move. This is what I got from this individual. He's not out molesting kids. There's no pathology there like that. This is a guy who'd be more inclined to go after Nicole Kidman. A hot 50-plus-year-old married lady who's got her act together. That's his type. That's his woman. That's who he's going to go after. He would flirt with George Clooney's wife. Right? She's in her 40s. She's a lawyer. Oh, Jewish guy from Michigan. So maybe I don't know. It must be regional. I don't know. So anyway, so that was Cuomo. He's not a saint. He's not. I mean, I was surprised by what he said. This was the quote. He said he has hit on women and he's had affairs. He said, I've been with married women, divorced women, and everything in the middle. I'm a sinner. I've done it. I have slept with married women. I've done, he was very forthcoming about it. All right. He's Italian. I don't know. One thing I do know, because I've spent some time in Italy, is that, boy, do they have a sense of humor in Italy. I think the Italian sense of humor is some of the best sense of humor in the world. Okay, so the next, are we ready to move on from Cuomo, or did people have some other questions about that? You can't be a saint and be a governor of New York. That's hysterical, Debbie. He's honest. I mean, that was shockingly honest. Like, yeah, I did that. She was 40. She was married. Her husband was out of town. They were having, I did that. It was that kind of like, whoa, oh my word. Like, I wouldn't admit to something like, I mean, I would hopefully not do something like that. But so this was somebody he's almost honest to the point where it's shocking and makes you a little uncomfortable. It's pretty, he's another ass pincher. Maybe. Does he feel betrayed? The energy I felt was shock and horror. Like, where is this coming from? And I feel like sideswiped. I felt like it was a political hit. Yeah. Everybody knows this guy's a bit of a jerk. He can talk it's expected of him to talk the tough talk. That's his feeling about it. I don't think he's married, Jane. I think that he was living with a woman who, again, I think she's in her 50s. This is his type. He likes sexy, strong, empowered. He'd probably have one fun date with me and never date me again. He's strong, opinionated, yeah, he's divorced. He's had a lot of women, but there you go. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so the next thing I did, and this is going to be a little bit controversial because people have said I shouldn't talk about this, but let's go ahead and talk about it. The next remote view we have is Tiger Woods. Does everybody remember me doing a remote view on Tiger Woods? Anybody remember that? When the information first came out about Tiger Woods, and I put myself in his shoes at the time of the crash using the HCRV technique, the first thing is that I was very agitated. I was very upset. I was upset at a woman specifically. I was, it's like there was a feeling like people were expecting something like from me, and everybody was mad at me because I wasn't living up to everybody's expectations. This was my emotional feeling at the time of the car and in the car and agitated. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you for the donation. I also felt obtunded. I felt as if I was not fully awake, like my brain wasn't fully awake. Now, the reason I want to talk about this, not just as an HCRV person, but also as a healthcare provider, is because I truly believe what happened to Tiger Woods, if I'm right about this, could happen to a lot of people. This felt like I was on a sleep medication or possibly some type of a medication. And the reason why I bring it up is because some of these sleep medications have a half-life of, say, 4 to 6 hours. Right? So say you have a shoot, or he was supposed to be somewhere at 7:30 in the morning and he can't fall asleep and it's 2 in the morning and 3 in the morning. And these are high performance people where the world expects anything and everything from you. So the anxiety is quite profound, and the amount of money that people are putting on the line because of you is quite profound. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, I do that with my chair all the time. I love swiveling in this chair. It's like comforting. It's comforting to rock myself, you know. Anyway, so with Tiger Woods, it was a feeling like, you know, maybe he took something like Ambien and may have not been completely awake. The reason I mention this, and the reason why it's become something of a controversy and why I wanted to talk about it, is so that all of us can be mindful when we are taking these types of medications, to understand that to understand the half-life. And if you can't sleep at 2, 3 in the morning, meditate, take some warm milk, or find another way to get some sleep. But I really want people to be mindful of this, because I looked at the statistics in the United States for car crashes, and being on sleep medications is one of the leading causes of these types of early morning crashes. People falling asleep at the wheel, people being obtunded. And some police believe that alcohol, it may not even be the major problem at this point. So what happens is that doctors prescribe these medications and people take them, and people have to understand and just be aware that you may think you're awake. He may have thought he was partially awake. So does this make you a good person? Does this make you a bad person? It makes you a human being that was high stressed. There was a lot of money riding on that job, a lot of pressure on him, and it happens. It happens. So it's a lesson for all of us. It's a lesson for all of us to please be mindful when you are taking these types of medications, that you have to give yourself ample time to recover from them. So that is why I wanted to talk about it. People said it wasn't appropriate, that I should mind his private business. It's not private when you're behind the wheel of a car, potentially on sleep medications, putting other people's lives at risk. It becomes a public health and safety issue. So I felt that this would be an opportunity for us to collectively as a community talk about that health risk, so that none of us make that mistake. All right. Sound good? And muscle relaxers as well. Benzodiazepines, cyclobenzaprine, which is a class of medication that's a benzodiazepine or muscle relaxant. It can cause slurring of words if you were to take it, prior to bed and you didn't give it adequate half-life. Very common that we'll see. The problem I see with seniors being obtunded is that we overprescribe medications, like medications for pain combined with medications for sleep. It's not unusual for people who are under a lot of stress to have sleep problems, but also as we get older, we can sometimes experience sleep problems. Thank you, Charlotte Pastor. And I love your kitty. Yeah, meditation. I make herbal teas. I do that. But I try to do it an hour to 2 hours beforehand, because if you drink too much fluid, then you're going to be up because of that. All right, so those are the remotes. Now's the time for us to do some blitzes, but we're going to do the Empaths Prayer. Then we're going to do the collective. And then we're going to do the blitzes. Does that work for everybody? Sleep is very critical, very critical. And, you know, if this is what I suspect it is, what happened to Tiger Woods could happen to any of us if we aren't responsible with these types of meds. So, yeah, we need to Renee makes a good point. We need to slow ourselves down. Slow ourselves down. Melatonin is a strong antioxidant. It's prescribed for people who are at high risk of cancer. For example, it's not unusual that we'll give 10 milligrams or even 20 milligrams to somebody who has a past history of breast cancer. There's been some studies that it seems to be helpful. Adjunct therapy. All right, let's do this. Let's do the Empaths Prayer. We'll do the collective, and then we're going to do some blitzing. Sound good? Thank you, Christopher. That's very kind of you. And oh my God, I love what you just sent me. Oh, dancing and flying all over the place. Okay. All right. So for those of you tuning in, you've tuned in just at the right time because we're about to do the Empaths Prayer, and you get to be a part of that. And then we're going to give you a reading, a tarot reading, and you get to be a part of that too. All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, for the planet, for the people we love, for our families, and even to help those we may have strife with. And together collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. Let's go in. What does Spirit need us to know right now? What does Spirit need us all to know right now as a community? I love the community prayer. It's good stuff. Where you are at right now. This is a time of endings. It's interesting. The first thing that Spirit wants to talk to people about is the fact that many of us spent a lot of time constructing things that no longer suit us, that are no longer appropriate for the life that we're building in the future. Here is the situation you may find yourself in. Here is the situation that I and the rest of us may find ourselves in. We may find that the way we have done things up to this point is no longer working. The home we constructed is no longer working. The way we used to do things in this country is no longer working. And so there's a feeling here of the nation being a little lost. I keep going back to the film Nomadland, this feeling that we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's happened to our country. And there is this feeling that people are simply wandering about, you know, driving around in this, it's almost like a state of shock. Like why didn't the dream work? Why didn't I have a happy marriage? Why didn't I have the beautiful home or maybe I did have all of those things, but it wasn't enough. There's some feeling here collectively in this community that we're kind of shocked. Like, what the hell is happening? What the hell happened to the life we created? The karma for us is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is about the ability to walk away from something we may have spent quite a bit of time constructing. This is the time of letting things go. It's the time of simplifying. It's the time of minimizing. And it's also the time of pilgrimages, travel, and it's almost like we all need to go out and see the world and find ourselves. The Karma card, the Knight of Wands, which is to travel. We leave what we have established and we go off to find ourselves. A lot of y'all are going to be traveling. Our number one priority at this time is to heal our lives. We are healers. We are focusing on ways to create healing. But, it's interesting. It almost feels when you go into this energy like we are in the eye of the storm. We are the first house. We are the healer. We are healing and we are the healer. I don't have any control over everything that's going on in this country. I only can be about my own business. And the business, have you created an oasis in your own home? We think about the oasis as the place you're trying to get to that's going to have clean water, safety. You're going to be able to put your camels to bed, right? Midnight at the oasis, right? But what if we stopped looking out there, and what if we looked at our current situation? What do you need in order to create an oasis for yourself? Both. It's like last week I was shopping for health insurance, because I didn't have health insurance. And I thought, I had a serious talk with my higher self and with Gaia, right? With the mother of all life, about being a philanthropist, a middle class, which is what I am. I'm a middle class philanthropist, and so are you, because you watch the commercials. And it's cool. But as I was sitting in that energy of healing, I heard my higher self, Gaia, say, well, that's all well and good, Whimsy, but don't you think you deserve health insurance? So then I had to go shopping for it. I went with Kaiser. So you're out $600 a month for God knows what, but it's what it was something I meditated on, but I'm in that mode of the Page of Cups, right? Which is, I have a moral responsibility. I'm not garbage, right? Like, this is the meditation. I'm not a shmata. In Yiddish, we call it a shmata, a rag. Treat yourself like you're not a rag. Treat yourself like you're somebody who's important, like your health is important. You matter. It's not going to come from out there. You have to step up to the plate and say, my life matters. I am responsible for my life. The healer, being in a state of healing both for yourself and creating an oasis for yourself that you can share with the rest of the world. And what's crossing? A tremendous amount of grief. There are a lot of people in this community, including myself. We are in mourning for our lives. It's from a Chekhov play. Which Chekhov play was that? The Cherry Tree? I can't remember. But, was it The Seagull? I am in mourning for my life. I think it was a seagull. Five of Cups. Many of us are mourning what we have lost. It's a powerful time for us, leaving what we've constructed, trying to heal our lives and heal others, mourning what we have lost, looking at what remains, what sits above us, the ethos. Our fourth house is the ethos, right? How we look towards God or spirit. There is this need in this community to find meaning in all of this. Was there meaning? Is there meaning to life, or is there no point to any of this? Like, what is the point? What is the meaning of my life? There are changes that are beginning to happen in the United States and happening for the people that are watching this video, because we say that this reading is appropriate to you at the time you see it, whether I made it last year or, whenever. The Eight of Wands sits in the third house. The third house is what we marinate in. It's what we sit in. And what you're sitting in is quick. These changes that are happening to our country and these changes that are happening to us and our lifestyle and this great unknown, it's happening, and it's happening very, very quickly for you and for me and for all of us. What we also have to realize is that you've already won. It's very important to understand you have already won and I have already won. Why? Because you're asking the right questions, because you're trying to take care of yourself, because you're trying to take care of other people. Hopefully you're doing an account and a reckoning every day. If you don't have your journal yet, get yourself one of these puppies and start documenting the things you have to do to heal your life and what you want to do with your life. Start getting yourself organized. But we come out of a Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a determination to live the good life. So there is a will to win. There is a will to succeed in our endeavors and our near future. This is something else that came up in the remotes. A lot of people, I think, are suffering because of overstimulation, not understimulation, but overstimulation. Specifically, I'm concerned about people watching, including myself, watching too much news. Too much news. You sit and you watch all this news about how horrible it is right now. We're all glued to the news because it's how we communicate with the collective ethos, but it's painful. And it's causing real psychological damage in this community. And quite frankly, I'm worried about my mental health, and I'm worried about the mental health of people who watch the channel. The sixth house is the Two of Swords. I really think we should be very careful from, if you want to watch 30 minutes of news or you want to watch Rachel Maddow every day, that's one thing. But to have the news on 24 hours a day, freaking us out, making us think the world is coming to an end, that's not constructive for you, me, or anybody else. A little bit of news, right? But more than that, 10 minutes, Bugs Bunny? How do you get your news? See, my whole entire life is the news. First, I start with the New York Times. Then I got to look at the Guardian. Then I look at the Jerusalem Post, and then I look at Haaretz. Then I look at the Huffington Post and Washington. The Washington Post, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then when I'm not doing that, and then the looking at the press, then I'm looking at MSNBC and blah, 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 blah. So, Young Turks, all of this news is actually potentially it's taking away from time that could be spent developing yourself, fixing your world, and creating the life you want for yourself. So a little bit of news is okay, but they're really asking people to pull back a little bit, because it's energy that's not being taken towards yourself. Five of Swords in the seventh house would be an indication that we need to let the heaviness go. Don't spend energy fighting on things that aren't worth fighting for. People around us are going to be okay financially. If you're worried about friends and family getting work, it looks like a lot of people are going to be getting jobs. Hopes and fears is COVID and the economy, everything that's going on with COVID. People in this group are emerging as the masters. We have a nice Hermit card coming in. So academia, study, knowledge, soul seeking. Be careful about daily habits and sobriety. Watch the drinking, the smoking marijuana, too many potato chips at night. With me, it's popcorn. I've gotten addicted. I make it, I make it without any oil or anything. I put it in the microwave. I put it in a cup or a bowl, and I do it that way. But then you got to add the butter, the salt. So I was watching a spooky movie last night. Had to have my popcorn. So just be moderate. Just be aware that we have to be moderate in our day-to-day habits. The final outcome for us is a new road beginning regarding intellect, mental studies and passion about future studies, and also boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. We're entering into a time of Four of Cups. It could mean that this is the time when you have to say no to people, that you must have your needs and your welfare come first at this time, because these are uncertain times. So it's okay to be in a Four of Cups mode, which is to just establish some healthy boundaries between yourself and other people. Wow. Yeah, Kellyanne, I hear you about popcorn. All right, so we're going to start doing some blitzes now. And for people that haven't had a chance to do so yet, if you could share, like, subscribe, or click the bell notification, that would be awesome. And thank you, everyone who made the donations. That's really great. Yeah, news. It's people sitting around talking about their opinions. And none of it's, I like Rachel Maddow too, but you know, it's an hour of your life. And the older I get, the more aware I'm getting that I don't have all the time in the world. And is this really how I want to spend my golden years, you know, in front of a TV being freaked out about? It would be better for me to be about my business and see where I can help on a local level. If everybody did that, I think we could alleviate a lot of suffering in ourselves and in others. Okay, so we're going to go through the blitzes now. I did do the remote view of Andrew Cuomo, but there's been a lot of people that want to know if Andrew Cuomo even has a future in New York, or if he'll be forced to I'll just say, I don't even know how to ask this question. So Andrew Cuomo's future, that was one of the first questions we got. So I think let's go ahead and do that. Mitch McConnell we can do second, but let me do Andrew Cuomo first. And then somebody wanted me to check on Roger Stone to see if he was part of that whole thing. We can do that as well. The other question that I got was people wanted to know about Rudy Giuliani and his associates, Igor Fruman, because they seem to have disappeared. So we can do that as well. The weather, yes. The weather is not finished yet. People are concerned about flooding right now because of the heavy snow dumping. So we will do the weather, and we will do the economy. Sound good? That's going to keep us busy. Hey. You guys keep me busy. All right, so let's look at Andrew Cuomo. I don't know how to feel about him, you know? I mean, you slept with him. I'm so naive. You had an affair with a married woman? He's like, married, divorced, everything in between. It's like, you're admitting to this? I mean, I don't know how to respond to this guy. Well, at least he likes women in their 50s. I think he prefers divorced women because he feels like he has more in common with them. And also they're more independent. And he can have a real conversation with them. Oh, thank you, Karen. Oh, you have an ex-husband from New York and they're all like that? But he's not into young women, Cuomo. Not from what he told me. He's into women. He's not into girls. No interest. He would like to continue to serve New York, but it's more than just New York. This is somebody who also is very concerned about what's happening on the global level. Right, Don. He's not attracted to stupid teeny boppers. Be an adult. That's this guy. He wants an adult. He wants an equal, somebody we could talk about our stuff, talk about the divorce, talk about this, talk about that, but still be a woman, be sexy. Like that. That's this guy. That's this energy. No, he doesn't. He's not into it, Alice. But look at the kahuna. Yeah, he's mucho macho, right? Ace of Wands, which is a phallic symbol. It's also, I'm going to win. I'm going to make it right. What I liked about Andrew Cuomo was that he was like my brother in a sense, that I have a brother who was a bit of a ladies man. Yes, he had women all over the place. And he was like this since he was 15. He just was always the charmer. But he was a good brother. I mean, like he was there for his family, but he was a little bit of a womanizer. So it's that kind of a feeling. Also, the world is coming in for him. This is somebody who is very important on the world stage. Where he's at right now, absolutely will not resign, and he won't admit to something he didn't do. It's one thing to flirt and to be a bit of a jerk and to be bombastic. It's another thing to accuse me of touching someone they didn't want to be touched, or God forbid, hurting somebody who's a young kid or something like that. Absolutely not, didn't happen. And I will sue you. It's like he will come after you. Crossing women, not children. These are not pages, folks. These are women. He has a lady problem. He's got lady, and it's not like it's hard for him to get the ladies. This is like rotating ladies. It's like they show up all the time. What is above him? Feeling defensive, right? The 9 of Wands, fear of jail, feeling cornered. It does feel like it comes out of nowhere. What he sits in complete confusion. This also can be drinking. This guy is like an emotional wreck. Like, if I thought that we were joking around, we were friends, and now all of a sudden I'm finding out I'm being accused of it. It's like, this is how we joke at the, it was that kind of in the cloud. Like, what the hell is happening? Where is this? This feels like a coordinated attack. It comes out of nowhere. The courts. I think he's also shocked that the courts are coming in now. There's a court case. What? Tower is coming for him. So more allegations, more bad news over the next 5 to 6 days for Andrew Cuomo. More threats. Things are going to start falling apart badly for him really, really quickly, I'm sorry to say. Where he's at right now, he's a magician. This is someone determined to make it right. What is around him, Knight on the white horse, right? His hope and his fear, grief. What has already been lost. It's like what's happening to him and all the stuff that's falling apart. It's like another casualty of this virus. The final outcome is the Queen of Pentacles, the hidden queen. It can be the FBI. It can be criminal investigations. It can be another woman. But I don't see it happening like that. I don't think there's enough here. I don't think what he did seems to me be bad enough to where he should be. I think he's going to lose some support, but I don't think it does not indicate him leaving, but it does indicate that he potentially shot himself in the foot and lost support, because he is the magician clarified by, look, he's got a poverty card here. People want nothing to do with him. I don't know you. He lost some people. What is around him? The people that are left are trying to clean up the mess. Also, he trusted certain people to take care of certain things, and then they messed certain things up, and then he took the hit for it regarding data collection. There's some stuff that's not entirely his fault. Hopes and fears, trying to smooth out the waters. His final outcome, he will emerge in a situation of power. The bottom line is he knows what he's doing in the event of an emergency. And there are a few people that could take the reins based on these cards to be the governor of New York and handle the current situation. It would be a disaster if he were to step down, because love him or like him, for the most part, he knows what he's doing. That is what I see in the cards, and I think he can come out of this. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Cuomo. More bad news for him over the next 5 days. He's definitely getting hit by something. Yeah. All right. So the next question on the books is Mitch McConnell. Some people say he's resigning. Other people say he's not resigning. They've got I believe, a Democratic governor in Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. Mitch McConnell is one of those people where he never was. Look, this is somebody who has a very low approval rating in Kentucky. And the only reason I think people voted for him is maybe you're a Republican. And so for that reason, you felt like, well, we have to vote for the Republican ticket. But I don't see Mitch McConnell as, he's not the most popular person in the world. Let's just put it that way. But let's check on Mitch McConnell and see the future of Mitch McConnell. Oh, Susan, Cuomo touched a woman's face? Yeah, that sounds very Italian. That's very Italian. I went to Italy for a couple weeks with my sister. There were all kinds of men singing to me and touching my face and telling me I had the face of la Madonna. It was fantastic. It was harmless. So my sister was worried for me. She's like, that cab driver touched your face and told you. I said, it was totally cool. I was totally okay with it. It was very flirty over there. Then he asked for my phone number. So, yeah. I should have given it to him. He was cute. But we were traveling, my sister and I. We were in Rome. It was kind of funny. We were in Rome. We got off the plane, and there were all these taxi drivers. And then I saw this one taxi driver who was so handsome. And he must have heard me, because I looked over at my sister and said, God, that guy is so handsome. And then we turned around, and then they were lining up the taxi drivers with the people. And then they said, oh, you're going to go with him. And it was one of those large taxis. And everybody got in, and he's like, "See in the front." So we got to talking, and yeah. And he was younger than me too. He was like 12 years younger than me. He wanted to take me dancing. I should have done it. Okay. I digress. Mitch McConnell. Would have been so awesome. Well, he asked my permission. My sister didn't know that, because I was filming it as a joke about friendly taxi drivers. I put it on YouTube. And so we were making like a joke, me and the taxi driver. So he was putting his arm around me. I'm like, friendly taxi driver. And he said, is it okay? I'm like, yeah, this is for my blog. And yeah, it was kind of funny. I didn't go on a single date the entire 3 weeks I was in Italy. Not a single date. My sister went on 3 because I was too shy. Okay, Mitch McConnell. Here's the thing about Mitch McConnell. Did I mentally dance with him, Melinda? Well, he gave me a little bit of a this on the back of the neck. and asked if I was married, and I said I wasn't. And then he asked permission to call me. He actually became very formal after that. After he dropped us off when we stopped joking around, he got very formal. Permission to call me, and I didn't have a phone. I was on tour. I need to stop being so shy because there's a lot of cute guys out there. You know what? Regarding Mitch McConnell, I think that his wife's legal problems are going to get really, really bad. I really do. Look at this. He's got a tower coming. Something really serious is coming from Mitch McConnell, and this is Elaine Chao's card. Look at that. This is his wife. Something's going down with Mitch McConnell's wife, and it is serious. Can you believe that? His karma, what he has to go through, the tower, and what's it attached to? His wife. His wife's in bigger trouble than he is. Can you believe that? Where he's at right now, look at that. This is the guy who doesn't want to work with anybody. 4 of Cups. What's crossing him? The 10 of Cups, his marriage. What he sits in, 5 of Swords, walking away. Look at this. Examination, forensic, looking at the coin, watching the money. Oh my God, what sits behind? He considers himself to have been extremely successful in the past working in the Senate. His future trying to return to something from old. He's trying to get to negotiate things in the Senate, but it's not working. Look at this. Look at his 7th house. He's leaving. What is around him? 2 of Swords, hopes and fears, grief. It's the family. It's something to do. He's being driven out because of family dynamics, right? Family secrets, right? The negative aspect of the 10 of Pentacles inheritance is family secrets. His Achilles heels is his wife. She's facing some legal investigation. I don't know what the heck this is, but it's gosh, I don't know what the heck this is, but look at this. I don't know what this is. Chow. What the hell is that? She's in trouble. I got to look at Elaine Chow again because that's crazy. That's crazy. What the heck was she doing? Let me just check Elaine Chow really fast one more time because I can't believe what I just saw there. She's the person that she could be. His wife did something that's really getting him in trouble. What is this? Hold on a second. His wife was Patricia Jones says that Elaine Chow was using government to promote her family's business. Yeah, I'd heard about that, but would it be that serious? This is more. Dang, let's find out. There was an ethics. We did a remote view that showed that the ethics committee. There was an internal whistleblower, and that caused like a forensic or internal investigation, and that sparked something that would lead to external investigations, possibly involving the FBI and also potentially congressional hearings about how money was allocated. So. That's what we got on the last one. Let's figure this out. There's so much going on in the world. The world we live in. Oh, he kissed you? Yeah, I wasn't, I mean, it's hard for me to explain, but it's not that kind of sexual. I never felt scared. I never felt threatened in Italy. It's a way of flirting that's comical, and like the taxi driver wasn't really hurting me. It was a gag. It's like it's hard to explain, but it's not it wasn't, I never felt like I never felt threatened when I was around those guys in Italy. It was like, it was always like in good fun. Okay, so regarding Chow Dang, it looks like something was found that she was doing that was not supposed to be. It's almost like a hidden thing. Look at this. Look at what's sitting here. It's almost like, this reminds me of what Autumn said in the readings yesterday, where somebody is getting checked out and they're sitting there. Are they going to find it? Are they going to find it? Are they going to find it? Remember when Autumn said that on Friday when we were doing the remote view? This is like the stress that somebody is going to find something. Look at this. This is the police. This is like the authority. She's left. It's the feds, right? Queen of Pentacles, the hidden queen, the FBI. What did she do? What did she do? It has to do with something involving economics and banking that has a global impact. Look at this. Look at this. It's almost like she gave information to the Chinese that would have long-term implications for our banking. Honestly, that's what it looked like. I don't know what that was, but not good. Not good. All right, so we are on the hour. For those of you who took the hour to be with me, woohoo! We're going to go ahead and do an after-hours show, but if you can't stick around for the after-hours show, I totally get it. So we're going to take 2 minutes to let everybody use the restroom. Make yourself a cup of tea. Finish that French toast. And then in 2 minutes, we'll start up again with an after-hours show, and we will keep doing some blitzes. The after-hours show, we're going to be doing Roger Stone, Rudy Giuliani, and the Trump kids, and the deposition of Don Jr. But for the next 2 minutes, let's just hang and let people use the restrooms and talk. How is everybody? How's everybody's week been? Talk to me. I only get to talk with you once a week on Sunday. Everybody okay? What's this about Chow? Because that was the craziest cards. Did you all see those cards? He was out of her office to get Mitch reelected, selling transportation contract. God, I mean, I wouldn't want the FBI investigation to be the base of my reading. But yeah, she's in trouble. I wouldn't be surprised if he left early because of everything that's about to blow up with his wife. That's how I would interpret those cards. Other people have a different interpretation, fine, but Tower with Elaine Chow doesn't look good. Married at First Sight, I love that show. It always starts out so naive, like, I trust the experts. Then it just disintegrates into this nightmare, like, what the heck am I doing married to you? I don't know you, and I don't think I like you either. It's like married it's fascinating. It almost never works. No, we're going to get to the light worker. We'll get to that afterwards. But we always take a break to let people use the restroom, and then we'll go back to it. This is the after hours show. I mean, yeah, Renee V. Is that? I mean, I don't know, but it does have that aspect where who was she working for? You know what I mean? Okay, so everybody who has needed to take a break has taken a break. Let's go ahead and start up again. I don't know, IHoppy, but boy, her cards, it's really bizarre. Those cards were very bizarre. Yeah, Merrick Garland has the votes. They're going to vote for him on Thursday. Mitch McConnell's voting for him. There isn't a lot of opposition to him. You can tell, well, not everyone's watching on their cell phone, Sandra. Some are watching on their computers in bed. Some people will watch the rewind, but some people really want to watch it live. So we do that for people. Oh my God, that sounds foggy Ozark Gem. That sounds spooky. All right. We are going to now start with the next one. People want to know about Roger Stone, what he's up to, and if he's behind this hit against Cuomo, naughty Cuomo. Am I a horrible person that he told me all those horrible things about him and I still was willing to go out with him? Does that make me morally? I don't know. I thought he was cute. Yummy, Joel Tilson. Roasted veggies. Yum, yum. All right. What's the story with Roger Stone? Was he involved in the hit with Andrew Cuomo? There's something about money here with Roger Stone. Here's the thing: when you go into the energy on Roger Stone, this is somebody who does this for a living. This is his job. He gets hired by conservative groups to do hit jobs like this. You can see the money received to create, and then there's the confusion. But here's the money. So something about him taking money and something about confusion. So that's his job. His job is to create a muck or chaos. He gets hired to do that. Defending against multiple allegations. The Seven of Wands is over him, and it has to do with the world. Here's the thing you get when you go into Roger Stone's energy. Whether or not he gets pardoned by the president, probably long-term is not going to help him, because he also may be criminally involved in activities that are international, and that's not just America that's a victim. It could also point to international crimes or activities internationally that require action, because you can see the world over him, defending against the world, possibly accusations from international sources. So thank you, Laura Carlson. Thank you for the donation. Foggy Ozark Gem wants to know if I only date Jewish men. No, I'm an equal opportunity lover. I used to only date Jewish guys when I was younger because I was kind of conservative that way, or mostly Jewish guys. But thank God I got over it. All right. Look at that. The feds raid, police action right above. What's sitting below him? Magician card. That chaos straight above. Roger Stone. Look at that. The scholar. What is wrong with him psychologically that he would help these people? Look at that, the master at his work. But I'm telling you, this is in his fourth house. This can be a police raid. He's in the clouds, confused. What is around him? Grief, his hope and his fear, walking away from what he's constructed. A celebration is coming. There are going to be consequences for what Roger Stone did. And I think that there could be international consequences for what Roger Stone did. And his future does not look good. You can look at the final outcome and you can look at the base. What's interesting is that he was paid to make chaos. He was paid to be chaos. And then at the end of it, he succumbs to chaos and confusion himself. All right. We're going to look at Rudy Giuliani and his associates, Igor Fruman. What happened to them? It's amazing what you can get away with if you're rich. Just blows my mind how, I'm paranoid when I do my taxes that I didn't declare everything. It's like, this is what normal people do, right? And you see other people, they just do whatever they want. It's crazy. And there's no consequences. I don't think I've heard of Robert Brockman, Jay. Okay. Rudy Giuliani. He got a pardon for some stuff, but that won't keep him from being charged in the future. Doesn't mean you're pardoned from every horrible thing you did. You're pardoned maybe for that one thing, but it doesn't mean you get to break the law forever because you've got a pardon. Okay, Rudy Giuliani now. He's having a health issue, and then Two of Swords. I think people are beginning to question his mental health. Scholar is over him, and so is the Three of Pentacles, which is a new project. Look at this guy, stressed out. I feel like a lot of these people just become old and confused. Same outcome as Roger Stone. This looks like the feds will probably give Igor Fruman some kind of protection. And I don't know if I spelled his name right, but yeah, there's some kind of evidence that's being presented. He got caught. It's again, it goes back to what Autumn said. Look at this. Thank you, Christina Brito. Very kind. You've got this, somebody constructing something, information. Look at what he's coming out of. Giuliani put himself in a situation. He's stressing out about it. Yeah, he's under investigation. This looks like Igor Fruman has some kind of protection and that they've been separated and that it will result in serious problems for Rudy Giuliani. I would say, if I was going to say anything about this guy, Igor Fruman, it's that he appears to be under some kind of federal protection or will be. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like to collect scarves. Pretty scarves. And then I drape them all over the house. I drape them. Yeah, that's very true about his liver. All right, people have been concerned about the weather and have asked me if I could just check to see about weather or natural disasters. I was watching Marie's Table yesterday, and she was looking at the economy, and it didn't look so great. The economy did not look so good, and certainly the weather is having an effect on the economy. The pandemic is having an effect on the economy. There's a lot going on. So I just want to check the weather and see if we can't get any information about the future of the weather in the United States. And if there's any heads up we can have, which locations, etc. The weather. What will the weather be like? All right, the weather will be like. Interesting. The main problem in these cards is not the weather. The main problem has to do with America's disintegrating infrastructure and the lack of oversight of the infrastructure, based on what I'm seeing here. These are cards that would denote that deregulation and not putting as much money into infrastructure could theoretically put America in a bad situation should there be any kind of future weather problems. The Four of Cups is the karma card. So you know, when we think about Texas and what's happening in Texas and the fact that they're talking about another freeze hitting in Texas and the flooding, etc. If you don't want help, or if you're refusing oversight, if you only want everything to be privatized, partnerships, refusing offers from federal assistance, don't want oversight, doing business with others, private business, money cards. That is a bigger problem. The main problem I'm seeing here is breakdown of the infrastructure, broken water pipes, broken mains, what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi, some version of that playing out all over the country because we have crumbling infrastructure and we have not been adequately taking care of it, and that's the big risk. This is about the money that did not go into the infrastructure. And as a result, it's collapsing. And this has been going on for years, not fixing our schools, not fixing our streets, our roads, our water systems, our dams. The infrastructure is collapsing because of a lack of federal attention, a lack of federal aid. There's a frugality issue here. It's about money investing in infrastructure being the greatest threat to America's security in terms of the environment going forward. That's the hard lesson. That's the expensive lesson going forward, is those infrastructures that are not secure, whether it has to do with infrastructures to protect against flooding or heavy winds or changes in weather, those grids, those issues will all be challenged over the next couple of months. And that's, I believe, what Mary was seeing from Mary's Table. Our infrastructure is not set up to deal with the types of climate changes that we're going to be having in the coming months. And I'm specifically concerned about those states that have not been investing in their infrastructure. I'm sorry, but that's the general on the reading. If we had strong infrastructure, we could survive anything. But unfortunately, we have fragile infrastructure that we've been gutting and not funding for decades. That's why we have the disasters. So we have to be about our business. We have to make sure that we've got generators, that we've got a way of protecting against flooding. We have to take care of ourselves because of the amount of funding that's been gutted for infrastructure. That's the reading. Oh, nice information. Okay, so I think we'll do a couple more blitzes. We'll do the after hour shows. We'll do, we'll finish up the half hour. People wanted me to also check the economy in the coming months. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to check the economy. How is the nation going to be financially? The economy. Let's do it. We'll do this and then we'll talk about what we all had for brunch. Ooh, Connie, I'm not going to send your tea out today, Connie, if you're watching this. I was going to walk down and send Connie's tea. Oh my God, Edie, you're a rock star. Holy heck. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. My goodness, that was a very generous donation. No, I wanted to go down to the UPS store because I had to mail tea out for people. But oh my God, it's really coming down out there. So my apologies, I might not be able to mail until tomorrow if anyone's waiting on a tea. Okay. I want to live in my van. I want to be a nomad. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be a hobo. I read a book about Jojo the hobo or something like that. And I thought, well, that sounds like fun. I want to travel the world as a hobo. It just seemed like so much fun, jumping on trains and the world is yours and you can just go wherever, keep yourself light, and jump. I learned how to jump trains when I was a kid. I did. Because I wanted to have that life. I wanted to be free and just travel. That's the one thing I don't like about the RV shows is it's too much stuff. It's like you get 12 miles a gallon and you're bringing all this stuff with you. That it's like if I was going to, you're trying to lighten your load. If I was going to be traveling in America, I would want it to be as light as possible and as pared down as possible. Of course, I'd also be sleeping in hotels. I wouldn't be like full in the car. I would be like in the car maybe 3-4 times a week. And then, thank you, Patricia. You're sweet. Mary, you got to have it. You can have a beautiful van that's like has all your needs for $4,000 rebuilt. A bed, a refrigerator, the whole thing. I've seen some of these vans. And then you're free. A van is good because a van is going to get you better than $12 12 miles a gallon. But I love it. I love to travel. I totally get it. There's grief about the economy. A lot of people are starting new businesses and side gigs. Look at that beautiful Ace of Wands. This is the beginning of a new economy. And this is grace. This is spiritual grace over business. So for the people who are watching, if you've got a new idea about a side gig for making money, I would say it's blessed if you keep your ethics in order. Keep your ethics in order. We don't want to be doing anything we shouldn't be doing morally and ethically. But we're going to be okay. Got that nice new economy developing in the clouds, 7 of Cups. A lot of people are really confused. They don't know what is coming financially. Grief. Where we are at right now as a nation, grief. But here's the good news. We are sitting on a gold mine of opportunities. We're sitting on a gold mine of new industry. New industry. Creativity, human beings' ability to create, human beings' ability to come up with ideas, ways to save themselves, art, music, literature, Gaia, saving the planet, fertility, create. We're going to create new things. We're going to create new business for the economy. What is above us? Things are moving, travel. There's this feeling that things are moving very, very quickly in this new economy. It has something, the judgment is sound, sits in the 3rd house. There's a feeling like people are understand that the future economy cannot be the same as how it was. There has to be some awareness of the planet, what we have to do in terms of our ethos, clear judgment, what we have to do to save the planet. And also it's this idea that the economy will be new, it will be different, that it will be new industry. What affected the economy? My COVID card, right? Angry wind energy. That's what we're coming out of. And then where are we headed? Chariot, again, movement, right? Travel. A lot of travel here for people. Travel. And also, this is like the earth mama. Oh, it's a time of finding our tribe, coming together and creating community and family rather than feeling like we have to do it all alone. Start naturally connecting with our tribe. Like, this is my tribe, right? I was alone. I went through a divorce. Felt like nobody understood me. Typical woman, 50 plus, starts a YouTube channel. And then I find out there are all these other people who feel exactly like I do. So I found my tribe, right? So now you found your tribe. I found my tribe. We're in the same tribe, right? There's 1,379 people that we're all connected. We're not alone. It's not real. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just another regular imperfect person like me. And that's cool. But for the most part, like me, you're a pretty good person. You're an ethical person. You're not alone. We're not alone. We're part of a family. And it's a family that's built based on our ethos and our values and on saving the planet and building a beautiful world. But I really do think economically, if you're part of that, if you're part of creating the new good earth, you're going to be just fine. Seasoned queen coming in. We have learned from our past, and the final outcome is, I love that. Final outcome is the King of Wands, the solid leader. And by the way, this is Andrew Cuomo's card too. It's the person who's not perfect. Yehuda was not perfect. The Lion of Judah, he was not a perfect man. He made mistakes, but he owned them and took responsibility, and that's what a leader does. And I think that is what is going to happen with our economy. It's going to take us about a year to get the economy up in the positive direction. You can see my 1 year card, the Ace of Swords. We read swords as a year, right? We use a 1 year, 10 of Cups, happy family. Let's give the country a year to start to recover. But I can tell you, based on this energy, within 6 to 8 months, the economy is really roaring very quickly. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that we got the $1.9 trillion passed. There's been some executive orders that have also been passed that really just pump up business work and entrepreneurship. And I really think that a lot's going to be invested in infrastructure and in transportation. Thank you, Rosie. I really appreciate that donation. I would definitely think desert artist, that creative arts would be taking off, because That's a very creative, artistic card. The Empress. Well, did everybody have a good time? Did everybody make themselves a nice brunch? I hope so. Well, I mean, if you're vaccinated and if you're being responsible, then particularly if you get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, the Johnson & Johnson is cool because you'll still probably get COVID, but it's a rhinovirus. So it's not basically it just makes it like a cold, a mild cold, and lets your own immune system also do its thing. So in some ways, and you only have to have it once. So a lot of people think the Johnson & Johnson may actually be better. The fastest jobs in the new economy will be the green economy. Building the new infrastructure that's green and carbon neutral is the largest single economic change that this country is going to have to go over in the next couple of years. Everything has to be overhauled and transferred to the new green energy. And it's a lot of money and it's a lot of work. And we have to do it by 2030 because we are phasing out fuel engines by 2030. Fuel engines have no future in the United States. So it's a lot of work. Everything has to get turned over. And but we will save ourselves. We will create a beautiful world for ourselves. There will be starts. Look, this economy has to die. I mean, it's not easy. You know, a lot of us had jobs that were part of the old economy. So, you know, having to get trained or having to switch over to a new economy is there's going to be challenges. All right, love and light to all of you. I'm so appreciative of everybody that decided to spend their brunch with me. If you're still trying to get, oh, there's Connie. Hi, Connie. Are you the person I'm supposed to be sending tea to? Maybe it's another Connie. Yeah, I got to get that started. The sun is coming out. Maybe I'll be able to go. I don't know. All right. If you're still trying to go get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you to our moderators, Susan Lim, Pierre Walker, Fillerin, Douglas, Noelle, Connie Brown, and boy, all the other great people that decided to hang out with us. We'll see you next week, everyone, and stay safe. I called you for tea. You didn't call back, Marie Hansen. Yeah, the best way, Marie, is to write me whimsyanderson@gmail.com and send your address and what teas you want. If you're or if you come to see me if you come to see me as a doctor, then I can be more specific with it. But calling people back and having a 20-minute conversation, I don't have time for that. Yeah. I'll do a video in the coming days where I just talk about what the different teas are. But usually people just send me an email, how much teas they want, and I send you a bill. All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks again. Bye.